The entertainment world is no stranger to drama, on screen and off. But sometimes, the silence is louder than any headline. Recently, fans of Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun have been noticing something unsettling. A sudden quietness from Lee Min-ho, an absence of his usual social media posts, public appearances, and even interviews. This silence has sparked concern, speculation, and countless theories about what it could mean. Not just for Lee Min-ho himself, but for Kim Go-eun too. For months, the two have been one of the most talked about couples in the industry. Their chemistry was undeniable. Whether on set, at events, or during promotional appearances, there was always an unspoken connection between them. Fans celebrated every smile, every glance, and every shared moment. Their relationship, real or rumored, felt like a breath of fresh air. But then, suddenly, that connection seemed to vanish. Lee Min-ho, once so active and engaged with his followers, began retreating into silence. His social media accounts, which were once filled with photos, behind-the-scenes clips, and personal updates, went dormant. No new posts, no stories, no interaction. At the same time, Kim Go-eun remained publicly active, but there was a noticeable change. Gone were the subtle nods to Lee Min-ho, the hints of affection fans had cherished. Instead, a professional distance seemed to settle between them. This abrupt shift sent fans into a frenzy of speculation. Was something wrong behind the scenes? Was Lee Min-ho stepping back to protect Kim Go-eun, or himself? Or was the silence a sign of a deeper, more troubling issue? Social media became flooded with hashtags and questions. Where is Lee Min-ho? Is Kim Go-eun okay? Are they still together? While official statements have been sparse, insiders hint at complex pressures behind the scenes. One industry source revealed, the spotlight on them has been intense, more than most can handle. There are expectations from fans, media, and agencies that create enormous stress. Another insider added, sometimes silence is a way to cope, to regroup and protect what matters most. Fans began analyzing every detail, from subtle changes in Kim Go-eun's interviews to the lack of joint appearances. In a recent magazine feature, Kim Go-eun's tone seemed more guarded, more measured. She spoke passionately about her work, but questions about Lee Min-ho were met with polite deflections. It was as if she was being careful not to reveal too much, careful not to say the wrong thing. Rumors quickly spread about agency involvement. Some speculated that Lee Min-ho's management requested the silence to manage public perception. Others thought Kim Go-eun's team might be encouraging her to maintain a professional distance, perhaps to protect her career from unwanted scrutiny. The truth, as often is the case, is likely more complicated. Behind the glamorous facade of fame lies a world of negotiation and compromise. Agencies wield significant influence over public images. They craft narratives, manage appearances, and sometimes enforce silence to avoid scandals. For Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun, who have been subjected to intense media attention and fan speculation, maintaining a private life is a challenge. Every smile and every silence is scrutinized. Every interaction is dissected for clues. In such an environment, choosing silence can be an act of self-preservation. Meanwhile, fans continue to hold on to hope. Despite Lee Min-ho's sudden quietness, many remain optimistic that this is a temporary phase, a momentary retreat before they return stronger and more united. Their support has never wavered. Fan communities have launched campaigns to send messages of encouragement and love. Even without words from Lee Min-ho himself, the silence speaks volumes. It reminds us that behind the fame and flashing cameras, there are real people with real feelings. People who sometimes need space to breathe, to heal, and to simply be. As the story unfolds, one thing is clear. Lee Min-ho's silence is not an end, but a pause, a moment of quiet before the next chapter begins. And for Kim Go-eun and the fans who care deeply, that pause is filled with hope, patience, and faith. In the end, silence may be the most powerful language of all. As days turned into weeks, the silence surrounding Lee Min-ho became impossible to ignore. Fans scanned every available source for any hint, any update, no matter how small. The absence of his voice felt heavier with each passing day. Social media accounts dedicated to Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun buzzed with theories and speculations, ranging from hopeful to heartbreaking. Among the speculations was the possibility of personal struggles behind the silence. Some fans worried that Lee Min-ho might be facing health issues or emotional challenges that required him to step back. Others feared that the relentless scrutiny might have taken a toll on their relationship, with the agencies possibly pulling the strings behind closed doors. While the truth remained elusive, this period of quiet opened a window into the harsh realities of celebrity life in South Korea. It's a world where the pressure to maintain a flawless image can overshadow genuine human connection. Every action, or in this case, inaction, becomes fodder for public consumption and judgment. Kim Go-eun's own career trajectory during this silence added another layer to the story. She continued to take on roles, attend events, and give interviews, but many fans noticed a change in her demeanor. Gone was the playful sparkle often seen in her eyes when she spoke about Lee Min-ho in past interviews. Now there was a subtle restraint, a cautiousness that suggested an unspoken weight she carried. In one particularly revealing interview, Kim Go-eun spoke about the importance of focusing on personal growth and artistic integrity. When asked about balancing personal life with career, she paused and said, "Sometimes, silence is necessary to find clarity." The statement, though vague, resonated deeply with fans aware of Lee Min-ho's sudden absence from the public eye. Behind the scenes, whispers circulated about the role agencies play in managing the narrative. The entertainment industry in Korea is known for its strict control over stars' images, often involving tight schedules, carefully crafted media appearances, and strict restrictions on personal disclosures. It is not uncommon for agencies to encourage silence or avoid topics that might spark controversy. Some insiders suggested that Lee Min-ho's silence might be part of a strategic decision to protect both himself and Kim Go-eun from the intense media glare. Others suspected that the couple was navigating complicated contract negotiations, perhaps even discussing their future both professionally and personally. Regardless of the reason, the silence was shaping a new dynamic in their story, one defined not by headlines or public declarations, but by quiet resilience. As fans held their breath, waiting for a sign of life from Lee Min-ho, the bond between the couple remained a subject of fascination and hope. Across forums and fan pages, communities gathered to share memories, compile clips, and create artwork celebrating their chemistry and connection. These digital spaces became sanctuaries where hope flourished despite the silence. One touching example was a fan-led campaign titled Waiting With You, where fans pledged to continue supporting Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun no matter how long the silence lasted. Messages of encouragement poured in from around the world, reminding the couple that they were never truly alone. While the public waited, some industry experts weighed in on the potential impact of Lee Min-ho's silence on his career. Many agreed that although an extended break from public engagement carries risks, it can also offer an opportunity for renewal. Taking time away from the spotlight can help artists reconnect with their passion, explore new creative directions, and return with fresh energy. In Lee Min-ho's case, this silence could be a necessary step toward evolving his